Hello and welcome to ERP Radio, your recovery resource. My name is Jennifer Stewart, and joining me is my great co-host, Ben. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Jen, how are you doing?
Hey, doing good. For everyone to know, May is Self-Discovery Month. So our topic today is going good to great in less than 10 minutes, tools for sober success. Ben, I'm going to be talking to you today because you're such a source of inspiration. And today we're going to be talking about the aha moment, the awakening moment. I'm going to ask you this. When you were suffering from addiction, what was your aha moment?
There was a couple aha moments. To elaborate more, I think the last one that was like my aha moment where it was like I need to get sober was when I was 19. I took a lot of drugs, didn't sleep, didn't eat, and I ended up in the psych ward. I've spoken about this before, and I had very recollection of how I got there. I was in a false sense of reality, and I guess I had a split moment where it I kind of came back to consciousness, and it was like I had this thought of like holy crap, how did I end up here? Like all my friends that I was close with were studying at school, getting degrees, doing sports, and I'm sitting here in the psych ward and can't figure out how I got there. So that was definitely like the aha moment where I was like, I need to do something about my life. I need to change.
So, Ben, what did your aha moment cause you to do?
I think from the beginning, the aha moment where I was sitting in that psych ward and I couldn't leave because they took away all my freedom. They even took away my shoelaces. So I realized that I needed help and I needed to do something about it, and I couldn't figure this out on my own. I couldn't get sober on my own because I've tried so many times and I kept ending up in rehab and psych wards and hospitals and encounters with the cops. So what I did was I called my mom, number one, even though she knew I was there, and I said, I think it's time for me to get help. And then I went to the doctors and nurses there, and I said, what are my options at recovering from addiction? What can I do? And they obviously gave me a list of rehabs to go to, and I chose one, and from there on, that's basically the start of my journey. I've got a lot of friends in recovery from, going to AA meetings, meeting people throughout the way. And, there's this whole concept of a bottom.
Sure.
And which I feel like is kind of similar to an aha moment. But I was always told that your bottom is where you stop digging.
Yeah.
Because it's always going to get worse. So wherever you want to peg it as a bottom is up to you. Ultimately, the bottom that I would have reached was either dead or in jail. So
right.
I got lucky. But for others people that I know, I think very similar experiences. I got a close friend who overdosed in a crack house, and that was his aha moment. I have friends that ended up in jail and not knowing how they got there. I've got friends who got DUIs. Other people have experienced this aha moment.
It's like they have to go through the darkest place to really awaken.
Yeah,
right?
And for some, they even talk about it, that they can reach that darkest place and they still won't get help.
Right.
So it's just a matter of how much you can really take, how much pain, how high is your pain tolerance.
So my last question is, do you think it's possible to actively try to achieve an aha moment? If so, how can listeners do that?
See, I believe that this aha moment doesn't have to be something you should actively reach out for. I think it's something that, when you're ready, you can go ask for help.
Right.
I don't think it needs to be a bottom like how I hit of being in a psych ward or in jail or like what my friend said, DUI.
I think it's something that probably surfaces within where you're like, okay, and you kind of basically surrender and say, I'm ready. And, we get those moments of where we shift.
With that being said, yeah, you're absolutely right. Sobriety and serenity and, anything like that, recovery, it comes from within. If you're trying to do this for somebody else, if you're in a relationship, your parents, your brother, whatever, says that you need to get sober, you have to do it now, like maybe it'll work for a certain amount of time, but virtually sobriety will only come when you're ready. This aha moment topic is great because you can't force somebody to have you can't force somebody to have an aha moment.
Right. It's almost like they have to go through the darkest point to just awaken. And you're right. You have a good point. If it's, an overdose, if it's a DUI, whatever the painful experience is, that usually cause someone to be like, listen, I got to change my life. Ben, as always, I thank you. And to our listeners, again, if you or someone you know is suffering from addiction, please give us a call. We have counselors on 24/7 to answer any questions. Our phone number is 844-548-3407. Thank you so much, and join us next time.
Thank you, and don't wait for you to hit this bottom theory because you'll always keep digging. So call us, please. Thanks.